Ladies and gentlemen, gather round and behold the wonders of Atari's E.T., the game that proved that even extraterrestrial beings had better things to do than play video games. This game was so bad it made people wish they were being probed by actual aliens instead of enduring the torture of playing it. It's like the creators took every bad game design idea they could think of and mashed it into one disastrous pile of pixels. Grab your Reese's Pieces because you're going to need some serious comfort food after experiencing the horrors of E.T. So before we begin to dive into the steaming pile of elephant excrement of a game that is E.T., let me give you a brief history on it. Howard Scott Warsaw, the famed creator of the well-remembered Yar's Revenge, had 5 weeks to create a game tie-in to the hit movie E.T. Why so short? Well, at that time, Christmas was in 5 weeks, and to get in on the cash grab, Atari wanted it done, so it was rushed out, but hey, it got out. It sold well with 1.5 million copies sold, however stores ordered more than needed and had a massive extra left, and Atari then canceled all distribution contracts. It also didn't help as stores soon had people returning it, mostly poor grandmothers wanting to exchange it for Pitfall, a massively better game. Well, where do I begin with this? First, let's look at the look of the game. E.T. has to have that hard to look at color palette, green and gray. E.T. doesn't come close to the movie, and the area with 2 buildings that look like Roman numerals is just as bad. If you're wondering what they are, well, a jail and a science lab. So the most egregious flaw is the gameplay itself. The plot, or lack thereof, is you are E.T. searching for parts to create a device to phone home while avoiding an FBI agent and a scientist. So the game begins with E.T. landing in what I assume is a grass field, which more resembles a kindergartner's art project, and then you're off to find the pieces to get you home. You raise E.T.'s head for several things, to figure out which direction to go where parts are, and to get E.T. out of holes, which brings me to the holes. The game is littered with them, and they are huge. You just even touch them and you fall in one, having to raise his head to get out only to fall back in again. The collision detection is just god-awful. Occasionally you find dots just lying around. Those are Reese's Pieces, put down by the third NPC, Elliot. Besides dropping candy, he also frees you if you get captured by the FBI agent or scientist, although he isn't really needed since you can just walk right out. Now I mentioned the large holes. Well, the game actually wants you to fall in them, since this is where most of the parts you need can be found. One weird part is you can go turbo if you hold the button to raise E.T.'s head and move forward. What use is that? Well, I'm not entirely sure. You could run from bad guys, I guess, or run into holes. The popularity of the movie spawned this crap, and even a stranger E.T. themed board game.
It's here, the E.T. board game. Now you can pretend to help E.T. go home.
Danger!
Sometimes you can hide.
You're safe, E.T.
And sometimes you can fly.
Wow!
Now the communicator's ready.
E.T. phone home. Up to the spaceship.
The one that helps E.T. the most wins. Also sold separately, the E.T. card game. E.T. board game from Parker Brothers. Some assembly required.
Ladies and gentlemen, gather round and behold the wonders of Atari's E.T., the game that proved that even extraterrestrial beings have better things to do than play video games. This game was so bad it made people wish they were being probed by actual aliens instead of enduring the torture of playing it. And that, my dear friends, is the story of Atari's infamous game E.T. It's a tale of a little alien who just wanted to phone home, but ended up getting lost in a landfill somewhere. If only Elliot had a map, things might have turned out differently. But let's be real, folks. E.T. wasn't the best game out there. In fact, it was so bad that even the aliens decided to stay away from Earth for a while. And let's not forget the poor guy who had to play this game for hours on end just to try and find the ending. We hope he's okay and hasn't developed the phobia of Reese's Pieces. So let's all raise a glass to E.T. the game that taught us the valuable lesson that not all aliens are friendly, and not all games are winners. Here's to hoping that future generations will learn from Atari's mistakes and make better games, or at least bury them in a better spot. Cheers. I'm Paul saying peace out and stay frosty.